What are teens today not ready to hear? As you get older, you just keep realizing how dumb you were last year. Every day I realize how stupid I was the day before. I actually like this because it means I'm always improving. The older you get, the faster it goes. Yesterday I was you. Tomorrow you'll be me. One day you'll wake up and wonder where that plenty of time to do X went. It will scare the crap out of you. Pink Floyd said it perfect. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain? You are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today, and then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run, you missed the starting gun. Just because it's new to you doesn't mean it's new. I majored in literature in college, I teach now, and I remember 18 to 20-year-old me being fascinated by how human nature stayed the same from hundreds of years ago. At that age, I couldn't fathom that those old people actually made sex jokes or had certain technologies. Reading across the ages really made me wiser and hip to the fact that humans are basically all the same, we just have different settings we grow up in. Putting every aspect of yourself online is unsafe. Nobody needs to know your list of triggers or your address or your blood type. Some Twitter bios are long enough to be in a Star Wars intro. That's how I'm reading them from now on. With John Williams' score in the background, LOL. Maybe I could find one of those sites that generate the title crawl for you with your input. You won't feel different when you're older or have kids. You'll just be you. It's weird. Life as a continued experience is weird. When I was much younger, I would always think about all the ways I'd be different when I was older, but I'm still just me. Somewhat wiser and taller, but still the same me I've always been. It's strange, but I think I've enjoyed getting older and growing to know myself better. I might as well be teenage me in a grown-up suit pretending I'm an adult. That's what it feels like sometimes. You're closer to being the older person in any given setting than you think. And by old, I mean like 30. Got nieces and nephews just starting kindergarten? Haha. Blink and they're starting college. Agreed. We're having my mother's memorial this coming weekend, and it keeps striking me as bizarre that we are now the adults. We went from 15 to 45 in the blink of an eye, it seems. Same. My dad passed a few weeks ago, and we just had his memorial. Seeing his friends and people he worked with that I haven't seen in 30 years just hit me in the face how old I am now. We adults are mostly just winging it, hopefully learning from the tons of mistakes we make, but still winging it. I have no idea where I read it, but I once read a lady talking about her childhood, and she said something like, I didn't realize when I was little that I was witnessing my parents grow up. It stuck with me both as a parent and as daughter. Early successes at this stage in your life won't necessarily give you an advantage later, but early failures will likely hold you back significantly. Basically, getting straight A's in high school will leave you closer to the mean than failing a number of classes. To add to this, please, for the love of all that is good in the world, do not get caught up in the legal system or get in trouble with the law. If you're in the US, having a criminal record absolutely will ruin your life. Especially if it's a felony. Stay away from drugs, don't drink until you're old enough, and stop doing stupid shit. Focus on school, work, and hobbies. I know it sounds cliché, and even a little lame, but take it from someone who prioritized partying at your age and is now struggling to find work because nobody hires felons. I wish I could go back and stay away from that crowd. That heartache you're going through? It consumes everything now, but it will be nothing but a footnote in the future. You'll rarely think about it later, and when you do, it won't hurt you. It's hard to hear that your pain isn't the worst in the world when you're feeling it. But it does help to know that it won't mean as much as it does in this moment. As a 35-year-old, I can say this: your social life in high school is meaningless. You suck? Doesn't matter. You're popular? Doesn't matter. You will meet new people anyway. You will be 20 and still be an empty sheet of paper. Heck, you can start over with 30, probably with 40 and 50 again, and every age in between. Your metabolism won't last forever. Practice and develop healthy exercise and diet habits now before it gets harder and with more consequences later. I'm just about to turn 30 in a couple weeks. I am 100 pounds heavier than I was in high school, To be fair, I was super tall and skinny to the point of slightly underweight, and that's after losing 25 pounds since the start of July. I have high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol. I am a father of a 2-year-old that doesn't want to die in the 40 to 60 range. I also want to live as a good example to her. Another 35 pounds and I'll reevaluate what my body type is like and reset my goals from there. That would be 240 pounds, which I was about 4 years ago, but it would also be a more muscular/trim 240. I'll determine where in the 210 to 240 range I want to end up and what my body and lifestyle will be like. Running is still hard, but using the elliptical is easier on the knees than it was 25 pounds ago. I want to eventually be able to do the Broad Street Run, 10 miles through Philadelphia, even though I hate running. If my knees don't like it, I'll do something else as an equivalent. As an added bonus, my sex drive I think is improving, but nowhere near what it was when I was in the 220 to 250 range. I don't think it's 100% related, but maybe it's more than 50%. Adults know exactly what you're going through. Just because it's the first time you've felt something, doesn't mean you're the first. Also, we aren't making you do things because we get off on your plight. We actually want you to feel happy and satisfied all the time if that means we get some quiet time, but always getting your way can make others around you worse off, and it can make you grow up to be a bad adult. Parenting is a 24-hour job. You being forced to spend a few hours away from your friends will gain you no sympathy. Teach yourself emotional regulation. What you're going through is not unique, and you aren't the only one going through it. I don't mean this in a nice way. The amount of teenagers I've interacted with that justify their bad behavior because of X, Y, and Z is astounding. Trust me, I was that teenager too. No one could tell me anything and I did what I wanted to because of it. I wish I had come to the realization way earlier, because even though I'm just 22, it's really hard to get out of that mindset of, I'm the only one that matters here because what I am feeling is a lot, so that has to mean I deserve to act how I want to. If I had just learned how to properly deal with my emotions, I probably wouldn't have done a lot of things that lead to me being who I am today.